YouTube, it's Dawn again, and welcome to my channel. For those of you who are subscribers, welcome back. So glad that you are here. So today's video I have been wanting to make for ages. Now that I'm back in the States after living in London for 6 years, what have I noticed? Like, what are the differences between living in the UK as an American and then being back in America as an American who has lived in the UK? If that makes sense. You guys had a lot of comments about my first video, American in London. If you haven't seen it, check it out. So this will be a contrast video to that one. I'll put the link below. So what I wanted to do is pretty much do my thoughts now. I'm not here to offend anybody on either side of the pond or, you know, be the end all and be all of the differences between the two. However, this is just my perspective from my experiences. So I hope you can appreciate that. Obviously, I love to hear your comments and questions and all of that. I will be better at responding to them, I promise. So here we go. So the first thing that I've noticed is the difference in work-life balance. I think America has the stereotype that we love to work like all day, every day. That's just what we do. And it's true for the most part. Now, this is a generalization from emails late at night, working all hours of the day, not taking vacation or holiday, not taking sick days, not even having really any vacation to take. Like, they give you very, very little. I think there's also kind of an attitude internally in a lot of companies not to take vacation, which is very different than my experience in the UK. At my first job in London, my manager was like, Dawn, why don't you take a holiday? Like, go. Like, you're not gonna be productive to us if you're burnt out. Like, that's just it. If you can't get your work done between the hours of, you know, office time, then you're not being efficient enough. Which that was like, what? I don't live to work. There's so many more enjoyable things to life. So yeah, Americans, you don't have to feel guilty to take a break. Number two thing that I've noticed is consumerism in the US. And I think this has more to do with maybe myself, what I've noticed, rather than other people. Although the US is a marketing genius, let me tell you. It is a marketing machine. Because I lived in a really, really small space, I mean, the place that I live in now is not big, it's small, really small by American standards. I really didn't have a lot of things. And ironically enough, I didn't need a lot of things. It didn't contribute to my happiness. It didn't, you know, make me less happy because I didn't have a lot of things. If anything, it made me happier because the things that I had were things that I really liked. And I think it goes back to kind of the KonMari method of how do the things around you make you feel. And so America, I feel like they just love stuff. They love shopping. And that's everywhere. I get it. I know that. But when you go to the grocery store and there's like a gazillion varieties of everything, like it's crazy the things that you can get in the States, and the different, like, America is competitive. That's one thing. So if one person comes out with a product, you best believe that 10 more companies are going to come out with an exact product or something very similar for competition. So it makes people always want to buy things because you're constantly pushed, you know, to purchase more and more and more goods. I still have that philosophy today, but I've accumulated quite a bit of stuff. I have a walk-in closet now. It's not a huge walk-in closet, but it's I can walk in it. And I've done my very best to fill that thing up, unconsciously, subconsciously, whichever consciously. Number three is political climate. Now, it's like an unhappy place. When I moved in 2010, moved to London in 2010, it was a very optimistic, energized country. And even the perception of people overseas when I would meet them would be warm, encouraging, and just really positive. Now, since being back, there's a lot of division, there's a lot of hate, there's a lot of what I would say lack of freedom, because I always think that America is quite hypocritical in that you have freedom of speech, but you only have freedom of speech if you agree with me. There is a real lack of dialogue between people who have different ideologies. It's unfortunate because you can learn a lot from someone who thinks differently than you. You know, it doesn't mean that maybe they'll change your mind, but you can have a greater understanding as to, you know, why they think that or what their experiences have been. And a lot of times we don't take the time to actually learn and get to know other people. Hopefully, you know, things will change, things will shift, people will get a bit tired of how the energy is now. It's quite disappointing. This is, you know, my home, my country, and it starts with us. It starts with working on our own individual selves. So this brings me to number 4, which is safety. And to be honest with you, I just felt safer in the UK. UK has very different gun laws than the US does, and mixed with number 3, which is political climate, there's just a lot going on in the US right now. You know, we've always had a history of violence in this country that we are a bit hypocritical about in terms of looking at other countries as, you know, very violent, very unsafe. Anything can happen to you if you go to this country or that country. But to be honest with you, that's within our own borders as well. Whether it's police brutality or, you know, massive shootings in public spaces, and day-to-day gun violence, or, you know, explosives being sent to people's house. Like, there's always something. I'm from Oklahoma, and I remember the federal building bombing in 1995. Yes, I'm old, you guys. But the point is, that was in my own backyard. I remember being in school and feeling the room shake from the bomb. In Oklahoma, you know, my parents would always say, we chose Oklahoma because Oklahoma is one of the safest places. You know, my parents even took us downtown later to see the building and what was left of it, and it was shocking. This is your home that this happened to, and that's terrorism. So I have a different view on terrorism, you know, and I can relate to people who have, you know, been close to terrorist attacks and the travesty that causes, but it can happen in your own home. People who think that they're safe in the US border, think again. You know, think again. Think of the Las Vegas shooting and how they felt. Think of this, you know, synagogue that just several people were killed. There's always things going on in this country, and we need to change our perspective that we're better than or we're safer than, because we're not. Number 5 is transportation. Now, when I first moved, I was like, I'm not getting a car. I'm going to take public transportation because it's convenient and it's cheap. Well, only one of those may have been true, the cheap part. It was stressful trying to find bus routes or car to go or whatever. So yeah, the car thing, you have to have a car in most parts of the US. There are several cities that have really good public transport. I don't live in one of those. And another thing is the cost of car ownership as well, which is high. Like, just gas, maintenance, insurance, the car itself, it almost offset the cost of living in a way. So yeah, I miss public transportation. It's so convenient when it's actually working and on time. Okay, number 6. Okay, the weather. Okay, so I live where it's mostly sunny throughout the year, and the sun makes a huge difference. I am getting all of my vitamin D. I'm feeling energized, and I love it. So that's one thing that London, the UK, you guys, I feel your pain. I feel your pain, but I'm happy to be enjoying the sunshine even in October. Number 7 is travel. So travel in the States is expensive, and mainly due to just the sheer size of this country. My goodness, I took for granted how large the US really was. I really did. But it's ginormous. So I travel a lot for work now, and I cover mostly all corners of the country. But one thing that I've learned to really appreciate, and you know, from traveling all over Europe and other parts of the world, I hadn't really traveled a lot in the States until I moved back. And it's a freaking awesome country, you guys. Like, we have everything. You know, before I moved, I didn't really explore the US too much. I was in my 20s, I was a little broke. I went to DC for the first time. Blown away. I love DC. Like, it's amazing. And I feel like I say this about every city that I visit. I'm like, oh, I could live here. But no, DC was amazing. And then New Orleans. Now, it's hot in New Orleans. I couldn't do the heat, but such a wonderful city. Like, wow. Every state is like a different country. Has different cultures, different stores, different food, just different culture altogether, and different accents. I have a new appreciation for holding a country together that has so many differences. It's quite the feat. I want to go to, you guys let me know what you think about this. I want to go to every state while they have like their biggest event. So if you are from a state like, for instance, North and South Dakota, I don't really know what the main event would be. Let me know. Drop it down in the comments below. Or even if your state, let me know what event you think would be the best, the biggest for me to go to, because I want to do that. This is on my bucket list. For every state, go to the biggest event there. So yeah, I don't know how long this is going to take me to do it, but I am so keen to do this. So that's pretty much all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, I don't mean to offend anyone by my comments at all. Please let me know your thoughts, as I know you will, in the comments below. Like if you found this to be informative, and also subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. You have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.